speaking of HBO Max, and that's the big thing. Um, we have an, one of the biggest franchises. It's not Terminator. It's not Fast and Furious. It's not any one of the. It's Harry Potter. Harry Potter is one of those franchises that back when this first began, it was. This is before the Hunger Games too, and it just took off. And I mean, the books were worldwide sellers. The first one just blew up, and so this comes from Variety, and it says that Warner Brothers is looking to close the deal for Harry Potter HBO Max series. Now, I know what I was just saying about everything being dumped. Um, I think they want to. Let me before I begin the article, I want to say this much. I think they're actually trying to get rid of a lot of this stuff so that they actually will go watch this if and when it ever gets. Now, mind you, this is just an announcement. Let's not read too much into this, okay? They're looking into this right now, okay? But let's be honest. If they're going to make and produce a Harry Potter series, okay, they want this to be in the forefront. They want this to be not plastered, but they want people to see this just like The Last of Us. Okay, this is just like The Last of Us, except this is a movie franchise, and The Last of Us was a video game franchise. So let me, as I said, this is from Variety. Warner Brothers Discovery is looking to close a deal to produce a Harry Potter television series. According to Bloomberg, which was first to report the news of developing talks, the project would be directly based on J.K. Rowling's best selling books series, rather than an in universe spin off such as the Fantastic Beasts films. Each season would reportedly draw from one of the books, suggesting an ongoing franchise that would stretch for years in the studio. An HBO Max spokesman denied comment. Under the deal, Rowling would maintain a degree of creative involvement with the series, though she would not serve as the primary creator or showrunner. Sources close to the situation suggest that talks between Warner Brothers Discovery and Rowling's camps remain in a preliminary state. And this is why I said, let's not get read too much into this. This is just the barely, putting the ideas out there. The studio is looking to house the series under its streaming banner HBO Max, soon to be combining with Discovery Plus and rebranded under a new name. Warner Brothers has long pursued a Harry Potter television series, with rumblings about the project emerging in a January 2021 in January 2021, predating Warner Media's acquisition of Discovery in 2022. News of the developing deal comes as Warner Brothers Discovery prepares to host an April 12th presentation for investors and the general public. The event will preview the integration of HBO Max and Discovery Plus, as well as the company's upcoming slate for streaming content. And it's interesting to note that Disney just had their earnings the other day, and they announced many um, different things on there, including one a Disney, several different series and shows. Warner Brothers had previously adapted each book into Rowling's Harry Potter series into a blockbuster feature, beginning with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in 2001. My God, really? It was 21 years ago, 22 years ago, and concluding with Harry and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 in 2011. The eight films generated more than $7.7 billion at the global box office and popularized the quote Potter brand even further. Even the original books and film series have long concluded the property has remained a dominant cultural force, spawning theme park attractions, the spin-off series Fantastic Beasts, a hit Broadway production in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and the recent video game Hogwarts Legacy, which I've watched a playthrough, and it looked like a blast. Um, I have not had time to play video games, so but I would absolutely play this. Now, I've seen all the Harry Potter films. I can tell you where I was, I can tell you who I was with. I'm not a Potterhead per se, but the whole fascination of it is amazing. Um, and I think that when you have a franchise like this, I mean, we grew up. I mean, my age and everybody, we saw Daniel Radcliffe grow up before our eyes, and Emma Watson and everybody else, and it's just like, my goodness. And to see, the culmination of 10 years later, you go, wow. And now that they're going to bring it back for another generation, and I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and because we were having a conversation about remakes, remake movies, and it's always good to have an original. Um, I did something years ago called Remakes, Reboots, and Sequels, the three things that drive Hollywood, because this is IP, and this is a huge IP. Anything you can get, any nook and cranny you can get out of this is amazing. All you do is take a look at Star Wars. You know, I mean, they tried. If Solo had been successful, and I'm not saying it wasn't successful for the amount of money, but if Solo had been successful, you would have seen a whole series of movies based on each one of the characters. I mean, Han and Chewie were, peanut butter and jelly. I mean, you had a whole thing when Leia was young and Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, you would have seen all of these things come together. This is nothing new, and I think that, look, the fact is, this is going to blow HBO Max up, even more. They, and I've said it for, they have had content, fantastic content, for the past 20 years plus. Whether it's The Sopranos, whether it's The Wire, whether it's The Last of Us, whether it's, Succession, whatever it is, Harry Potter, having the rights to that. This is going to blow up HBO Max. House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'll be honest with you. I'm intrigued because I think that if it's done well, and that's the caveat, I've always said it's about story. If it's done well, I think that it could be good. I do. And I'm all for story, and I'm all for making things right. And this is why we have to kind of worry about. Imagine for a minute, just imagine for a minute, you had a bot writing a Harry Potter story. You couldn't do it. You could, but it wouldn't have the same gusto, wherewithal. It wouldn't have the same magic, literally and figuratively. So I think that it's worth, you know, um, it's worth having writers. I mean, we need writers to every single person out there, whether it's watching this or will watch this or whatever, has their own story and adapting that story, and that's the important thing. Um, yeah, so I really think that this could be a huge get for HBO, and like was said in the article, this is in the preliminary talks. I don't think it's we won't hear about this again until the deal is signed and they start production. And you're probably talking 2027, 2028, maybe 2026 at the earliest. So, anyways, but yeah, that's going to be a big thing. So, anyways, that's it, guys. That's all I got today. So as I said earlier, you know, got the Patreon up. Um, two levels, $5 and $10. $5 gets you the video Mob Mondays. You'll be getting one video a month. The very first video I did many months ago was The Departed. Martin Scorsese's Oscar-winning. He won as best director. It won best picture. It won 4 Oscars. So I sit down with screenwriter Brad Rochefort, and we talk about this in depth for about an hour, so you're going to get your money's worth. And $10 is going to get you both videos. Um, Not only Mob Mondays, but Rewatch Wednesdays. Rewatch Wednesdays is it's the film I did first with somebody was called it's Steve Jobs, Michael Fassbender, Kate Winslet. I mean, he had no shot. Leo is going to win that Oscar all day and twice on Sunday for The Reverend. But I love the movie. Danny Boyle did a fantastic job.